Hello, happy Tuesday, happy second day of June, and we are definitely getting into summer here in Arizona. It is very hot. Um, I am still very excited about this new deck. If you didn't watch yesterday's video or the video that I did on Friday about this cool new deck that I have and that was gifted to me, it is called the Sakki-Sakki Tarot deck. And it does come with a little booklet. It comes with a cool box. The box actually says on the side, "Come on, let's play." And if that gives you any idea of what these cards look like, oh my gosh, they're so fun. They even came with like a little card belt that says "Good Karma," which is a lot of fun. So these cards lean a lot on the Hebrew kind of tradition of the Tree of Life, which if you're not familiar with that and the Kabbalah and stuff like that, it's kind of interesting to look up. I've got some really cool books on it in my collection, and I've dabbled a little bit in understanding what it means because I kind of dabble in all modalities and mythologies and kind of play with things. And this deck is definitely fun to play with. It does not look like the typical deck. So, without further ado, I will pick our card for the day. Yeah, this is very atypical. All right. So we have the Knight of Coins. And I'm going to kind of hold this card up again for a little bit so that you guys can see it because there's such an interesting deck. If you can find this deck, please check it out. It's really cool. So far, it's been just fascinating to see how the artist kind of puts a spin on the traditional symbology of the tarot. So the coins are typically to do with wealth, with work, with fertility, with the material realms and things like that. I think we may have also pulled the Knight of Coins at another point, but I'm not sure. We're getting enough that my brain doesn't hold all that information. I fill it with a lot of trivia and mythology and history and not a bunch of what did you do yesterday? Anyway, so the knights. The knights are typically indicative of certain types of people in your life that you may encounter, which is pretty typical of most of the um, heads of the suit cards. What is interesting is yesterday's card didn't have a head, and both of the bodies in this card, the horse included, have a head. So that's a plus. I'm really starting to wonder about the headless thing. But, you know, he's not a headless horseman. So, yeah, laugh at my bad jokes. Anyway, so on the shield of our knight, we have the coin. And in this case, the coin, while it does have 5 points, which is pretty typical to have like that pentacles, that pentagrams going on there, it also looks very floral. And I know maybe at this distance with the lighting and stuff, it's hard to tell, but it really does look more like a flower than like a star or a pentagram, which does tie right back to the fertility aspect and the wealth and abundance of these cards. So, looking at this, it's a very neat way to tie together the coin aspect of fertility, the wealth, the physical, the gold kind of thing, as well as the fertility and material aspect of the earth, which coins are the element of earth. What is interesting on this is now this is only the second card, so I don't know what's going to happen, but this one doesn't have the little symbols in the corner that the last card did. The last card had a little alchemical astrological symbols in the bottom, to which there is a little cheat sheet card if you are not up on your astrology. You can look at this and see what each one is about. I'm really good with the planets. I'm not as good with the zodiac signs. In fact, I'm looking at some of these and I'm going, wow, yeah, I guess that is the sign for that. Anyway, so going back to the really bright colors in this is an incredibly vibrant deck. I really hope to do some readings with this deck for people who kind of give off that same energy. So our knight is sitting on his horse. He's very, his posture is very strong. But he's not moving, which is a little bit atypical of the knights. But in this case, our Knight of Pentacles or Knight of Coins, he's more thoughtful. He processes things. He weighs and measures everything that is coming his way. So he's kind of always going, well, what's the pros and cons? What's the cost of this versus what am I going to earn back from it? He's very, very good at it. This is the guy who, yeah, will probably be the friend who bails you out with money all the time because he always has it, but he's always going to be keeping track of that. And he may not say it. He's not really the type to say, oh, well, I paid for that last time and you owe me. If it comes up inverted, that may be the character that he is. But more times than not, this guy just has money and he's happy to spend it on his friends. He's the gift giver. He's the one that likes to spend. Let's go out to eat. Don't worry, I'm buying. Let's go get drinks. Don't worry, I got the first round. Hey, you really thought that that was a cool comic book or that was a cool new thing that you needed? It was only a few bucks, whatever. I got it for you. It's cool. Or, hey, I noticed that you're having a little trouble paying your bills this month. Do you need any help? If this guy is the roommate, he's always the roommate with the money. This guy is always going to have your money. Don't worry about that. He's the one that's probably going to buy groceries for the whole house. This this character is always really interesting because in a way he is a bit of a juxtaposition, which kind of all the knights are. They want to be this free, youthful energy around their friends, and they want to do all these things, but they're still trying to feel out who they are in the world. And so when this guy comes up, what he's feeling out is, gosh, I'm really good at saving money, and I'm really good at making money, and I'm really good at this, and I always have the material wealth. I've always got that going. But do I have other values? And do my friends just like me because of my money? So if you come along this guy, ensure the friendship by making sure he knows you don't always have to buy gifts. It's fine. And I keep saying he because primarily the knights come up and they're more masculine energy, but male, female, doesn't matter. This character is going to be the one of your friends. Assure them that they are your friend because they're your friend. Maybe find things to do that don't cost money. Say, hey, we're gonna play some pickup basketball, or hey, we're gonna go watch a movie at so and so's house, or we're gonna play chess or whatever, and everything is free, and so it's safe, and he doesn't feel obligated to pay for something because that's what this guy is. He's the one that wants to pay for it. If you are dating an individual like this, and they're constantly showering you with gifts and affection in the way of material goods, try to show them like a walk in the park is lovely, maybe just cozying up with your favorite movie, or spending time together in that way that doesn't cost money is really valuable to these people. And they love to show affection with money, so don't stop them from doing that, but show them that there are other ways, because they will be put in a position if you're constantly saying, hey, yeah, we should totally go see that movie. Yeah, we should totally go to that fancy restaurant. Yeah, we should totally do that. Deep down inside, they will start to begrudge you. Deep down inside, and it's not even so much about them begrudging the others in their life, it's themselves. They don't know any other way to show love, and you're taking advantage of it. So, the other thing to keep in mind with the knights, and especially really in this card, is that they are very sure of themselves until they're not. The Knight of Pentacles is always going to be full of integrity and loyalty and all of those good things. And they're sure-footed. They're kind of, some might call them a little bit stubborn and slow. Like they don't really want to move on something. They're thoughtful, processing, always weighing the pros and cons, which can make them a little bit trying if it gets overt. But this guy, if you look at this posture of the horse, the posture of the man on the horse, he's very like, this is it. I can wait. I will wait till my enemy approaches me. I will stand at the castle gates. They are the guards, yes, the guards at the royal palace in England and stuff, where you cannot mess with these guys. And that's kind of how they are. You really can't mess with them. Once you screw them over, then it's done. It's just as easy for them to walk away. They have no problem because they're very sure of themselves and they're very strong people. If you make this person unsure of themselves or unsure of your loyalty, they will walk away. They will be done with you. They don't need people. They are very strong in who they are. So keep those things in mind. And also, I just want to really point out the bright colors again in this card and how the knight himself is very dark, though, which is interesting because while I was looking in the little book that came with this, and the artist states that she tends to leave out the typical features. Like we say that pentacles are typically people who are of a more earthy feel in their appearance, shall we say. They're not bright um, the bright haired, shall we say, people who are wands. They're darker complected, they're darker hair. And even though see, I was getting to that. Even though she says that she doesn't really put that in here, that this is likely a person with dark hair, dark eyes, maybe a little bit like me, where it's like the brown hair and brown eyes. She steers away from doing that in a normal way of like, oh, they have black hair and dark eyes. But they're still a darker color. They're still purple. But I don't know. I'm going to look at the rest of these cards and see as they come up if this is important or if it just happens to be the purple was the color she chose for this night. I do absolutely love these cards. I think they're a lot of fun. I think they are going to be a little tricky to read with. So if you are new and you really weigh on the symbols being obvious in the cards to kind of prompt you to know what to say and what the meanings of the cards are, maybe steer clear of these. But if you're more like me and you've been doing this a while, and I mean, I can do a reading with a pack of playing cards. It's not a big deal. I'm just listening to what's coming through, and the prompts are, I don't need the prompting of this as much as I use direct channel, just flow. So it may be a little more difficult for a new reader, but they are so fun and so bright and so pretty, and I look forward to tomorrow's. And until then, if you are interested in more, please let me know in the comments section. And if you are interested in a reading, please check out the description and my website, make an appointment for a reading. It's usually I can get to you within a week or so. And if you want to know the connection between the technological and the metaphysical, check out my new book that I wrote with Bob Frank. It's called Cloud to Cloud, and it is available on Amazon, and I do have a few copies here that I can sign for you. Until then, have a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope you enjoy your Tuesday, and stay nice and cool. Stay hydrated today. Bye!